Yo, welcome to the Power Hour, where we literally go through a full list of questions and I give you answers. So we're literally just going to punch it out, bam, and dive in. Now, this theme of the month is OCTONER. OCTONER is not literally, it is October. It's not me being dyslexic. It's just a version of October where we call it OCTONER, where most people at this time of the year start to dial down. So they go, well, the silly season's coming. I might as well just let my hair down, or not at all. So what then they do is eat a little bit more, have a little bit more chocolate. Toner is where we're here to get toned. We're here to double down and really just dominate. You can still go out, you can still eat, though you may need to do a few more sets or reps to obviously utilize that fuel. So you can still do all these things. And for those that are having trouble with maybe eating out guides, we're actually building one at the moment, so you can have it for free. Just comment below and we'll reach out and get your details, send you the information, and you can have it forever or free on us. So let's dive in. So we are top of the list. What are some fat loss strategies that are gentle on a sensitive stomach? This is a good question because, number one, when you're eating foods, you get bloated, distended, it's really uncomfortable. So that can actually push out the hip flexor, which causes you to feel back pain. Not fun. So things that you could do is, one, I like to do passive hangs. I like to stretch and open up my body. So by opening up the body, I can actually move more freely, and that would allow me to walk more and train a little bit harder because obviously I've freed everything up. Second is probably adjust your meal time. So you might be eating 4 meals a day, maybe go for 3, or you might find maybe doing a gentle cleanse, which is really just increasing your fruit and vegetable intake, removing processed foods to help. So you can either push your meals out later in the day, so the start of your body, it's all about hydrating, water, lemons, lime, celery juice to allow the body to recover, and then have your meals later in the day, so more of a fasting window, which might allow the body to recover the sensitive stomach. 3, if it still persists, speak to your local GP. How can you prioritize recovery? Prioritizing recovery comes in the form of sleep and stretching. You've got saunas, cold baths, plunges, all of these. The biggest ones that's going to help is just really having a good routine at the end of the day. So for me, no technology phones with an hour before bed, put the phones down, read a book, feed your mind, and 2, do yoga or mobility. 3, in the morning, I like to do hydration, hydrating the body. I do a liter of water. Kate does 500 mils first thing, and then slowly starting to introduce foods through the day. Get 7 to 8 hours sleep, 7 to 9. Like my partner does 9. She does 8.5. So she got 9 last night by sleeping in. Mr. Alarm. For me, I average about 7.5, and that's what works for me. Right. So find your sleep routine, hydrate, nighttime routine. How to prioritize strength and conditioning and mobility whilst maximizing the use of your time. So if you've only got 30 minutes, understand that strength is a skill. You need to build that foundation. So you could do 2 sets of 5, walk in, like smash that load out, and then leave. Easy, done, sorted. So I would challenge you to combine the movement with a mobility-based exercise. For example, you could do pull-ups and superset it with shoulder extension. So 2 sets of 5, you do 5 reps. You can do it in the machine or assisted, then go down, do 20 reps of shoulder mobility to strengthen and open the shoulders, 2 sets of that, and then you're done. You can do that every single day, picking different foundational movements. So you've got squat, bench, deadlifts, pull-ups, dips, bent over rows, incline presses, or shoulder press. Pick 2, and then ask yourself, what is something that I could complement with that wouldn't fatigue me? Example would be, you do bench press, and then you do shoulder extension, which fatigues your triceps. That doesn't benefit you there because you then have to take longer to rest, right? And so that can affect the time efficiency. Total, I would do 5 sets, 3 warm-up sets. Start with the bar, 20 reps, put some weight on, 10 reps, then working set of 5. Feels good. Okay, cool. Then you do 2 more sets, then you're done. Or if you're like, I could add a bit more, and then you start with working sets. So that's how you make a time-efficient workout through the week. What are some practical strategies for managing time and finding windows for exercise in a hectic schedule? Look, I challenge a lot of people. A lot of people say, I'm busy, life's hectic. Have you sat down and broken down your schedule 15-minute increments? If you don't, got a PDF you can use, and you can just write down, what are you doing every 15-minute increment? Guarantee you're going to be able to find time to exercise. Most of the time, people think it takes an hour or 2 hours, and it's just too hard, or I have to travel from A to B. There are other ways. You can do body weight. You can get a pull-up bar at home, literally grab onto a door frame and hang from that. Probably best to do it one-handed so you can keep weight in your feet so you don't break the door. Many variations. Reason why people are so busy is they just don't know. So hopefully this provides some resources to help you get on top of it. So break your calendar down into 15-minute increments and you'll find out where the gaps are. You might also find that to help with weight loss, you probably just need to take time to breathe. 20 deep breaths, calming the nervous system, which will help your digestion, and that'll decrease the stress, which then aids your digestive system to break down the food, less bloat, and not as fat. Can you dispel any myths related to specific foods or exercises that supposedly guarantee rapid fat loss? Food is energy. It's like saying if I put in $50 into a bank account, I'll have 100. Think about it. $50 to the bank account. You check it, says $50. Certain foods contain more fibers or a lower calorie. So like strawberries, 20 grams of like carbs is 450 grams of strawberries. That's a lot of strawberries. That's a lot of volume, water weight. Celery has a lot of fiber. So the idea is that like when you eat celery, like the energy to consume to break it down in your mouth is like the same energy burn. Probably, but your jaw really hurts and you're not going to be eating that much celery. So when it comes down to fat loss and rapid foods, it can be some like chilies will increase your metabolic function. But at the end of the day, consistency is key. And knowing that most people, when it comes to fat loss, most people eat the same thing like every day. So over like the week, you probably had 20 meals. All you need to do is change 1 to 2 of them, and that can have a drastic change compounded on the week. Next is, what are some common misconceptions about fat loss that people should be aware of? 1, it is not that complicated. 2, get your bloods checked. There might be something underlying after 4 weeks if you're not seeing change. And 3, most people just aren't really honest with themselves. Like, oh, I did everything I could. You didn't. I'm telling you right now, you didn't. Like, if you did everything possible and all the information that's on the internet, you would lose weight. Like, if you starved yourself for 7 days, you would lose weight. However, you also need to remember that the body's smart. So most people go too hard too soon. So like, you cut your food in half again, and then don't eat. Like, you know, keep eating what you're eating. Week 2, cut in half. Week 3, cut that in half. And then week 4, don't eat anything. Well, then where do you go from there? Cut off an arm. So a lot of people are quite unrealistic for themselves. And so really you just need to, small steps. Implement 1 or 2 things at a time and ask, did it work for me? Some people are like, well, maybe it's a no. If it's a it's a no. Like, change again. Keep it simple. Most people overcomplicate it and they're just not honest with themselves. Can you clarify the difference between dirty bulking and clean bulking in the context of fat loss? Dirty bulking, eat whatever you want. And clean bulking is eating clean organic foods. So, for example, you could eat a packet of potato chips. Dirty bulk. Clean bulk, you eat potatoes. Like, you could eat 1.5 kilos of potatoes, bag of chips, same sort of calories. Sugar, dextrose, delicious, flavorsome. Like, no one's eaten a potato chip and gone, I'm good. So, to eat that amount of potato, you'd be like, man, I'm stuffed. So if we were to pick 2 circles, think of potato chips, nom 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 nom, like there'd be this much in your gut versus eating that much potato, your gut would be full and you'd be like bursting at the seams. So that's the difference between clean and dirty bulk. 1, whatever you like within your calories. The other one is obviously clean foods, a lot of veg, meat, potatoes, lentils, peas, all the wholesome stuff, and it's really hard to actually eat that much. Like, here's a picture of Eddie Ram. He used to eat like a kilo of rice a day, and he'd just be sitting in the back room like this. So, kept his body fat down at 10% and put on size. Just took time. Does running in a faster state always lead to more fat loss? No. Reason for that is in the morning it would, because you're in a calorie deficit, though by the end of the day you would have caught up on your calories. So if someone's not eating, misses a meal versus someone who eats a meal, technically this person's now 500 calories ahead. This person's still burning fat. So by lunchtime, this person might eat 1,000 calories. Person 2 eats 500 calories. They're now both at 1,000. So they'll both lose about the same. It's really finding what works best for you. So if you don't like eating in the morning, then don't eat the first meal. Can you explain how incorporating carbs into a fat loss diet can be beneficial for energy and overall? Glucose, so carbohydrates break down into a thing called glucose, which if you have a lack of in the muscle, fuels the muscle, which then allows you to contract and train harder so you can push more. Plus, carbs are delicious, and if you're happy, you'll naturally move more. Find me someone who's like, I hate life so much. That's like, I hate life so much. Doesn't happen. Someone who's really enjoying their life, they're going to be talking, they're going to be moving their arms. So naturally their NEAT is higher. So sometimes when people eat more, they actually have more energy and they naturally move and animate themselves. They're sitting up more, so everything's working that little bit more, which burns out a little bit more energy. Another way to think of it is you think about, you have a bank account that gives you 0.01% return per day on your money versus 5% return. Well, which one do you want? Do you want the 5% return or the 0.01% return? Probably the 5%. And sometimes that is when you have your proteins, your fats, and your carbs worked out, sometimes adding more carbs gives you greater return for energy. How does engaging in overall restrictive diets or extreme calorie cutting increases the likelihood of binge eating? Cool. Don't think about chocolate cake. Don't think about chocolate cake. Don't think about chocolate cake. What do you think about? Probably chocolate cake or a pink elephant. So usually when you tell yourself you can't have it, and the only reason is no, we want to rebel. So going super restrictive kind of leads to that. There's also a thing in the body called ghrelin. It's like a little gremlin. And it stimulates hunger. Now, that's only your body working. So then what happens by repressing it over time and probably not having refeeds, the body then goes into binging mode because you're literally wanting to get calories back in, but also the nutrients. And that over time, boom, you should to release leptin. Though if you're gorging, you probably overconsume before that is released. Like the body doesn't go, release ghrelin, release leptin. It's not that fast. It takes longer. So unfortunately, this is where the binging habit is because most people's arms and mouths, instead of chewing like 50 times, they inhale everything like there's the food. And this is what leads to that overindulgence. And then you actually condition yourself because that's a habit. You build that habit and you then can't stop. The willpower it's incredible. Like I went through a phase where I lost I think 12 kilos over 24 weeks. I really pushed myself hard and then I put on 25 to 30 kilos in less than 3 months. Most of it was in the first month because making chocolate gifts for Christmas. I was like 5 chocolates for you, 2 for me, 5 for you, 3 for me, 5 for you. Oh, I've got 10 left. Nom, 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 nom. Yeah, really got sick, but really went from about, I think I weighed about 72, got up to about 100. So yeah, it's pretty brutal. How does inadequate sleep impact the body's ability to lose fat? Yeah, cool. Matthew Walker did a talk where if you were 1 hour less, so typically 7 to 8 hours of sleep, or 7 to 9 is your recommendation. So when you're sleeping in a fat loss phase, you'll burn 80% fat, 20% muscle. Naturally, because if you burn a bit of muscle, what'll happen, like if this is what you need and this is what you have, the body will find ways to bring you back to baseline. Like this is the new norm. So metabolizing muscle mass will decrease your energy expenditure. Now, when you train, you're training to keep the muscle. Though the body's like, we need to be more practical and efficient. So become better at the movement with less. So you'll naturally lose a little bit. The goal is to obviously keep as much as you can. That's what one of the challenges. Now, knowing this is 80% is fat loss, it comes from 80% pooing and exhaling. So cardiovascular does help with that. Just burns more energy in the same space of time. Don't recommend it all the time, though it can have benefits cardiovascular-wise. Now, if you get 1 hour less, so 6 hours sleep, it becomes 50-50. It also increases insulin resistance. So your body's utilization of carbohydrates decreases. Now, if it's 5 hours, so 2 hours less, it becomes 80% muscle, 20% fat. So your body's now really not prioritizing muscle mass. And the interesting thing is those that get 3 hours less sleep, so like 5 hours a night, do you know how many people have improved cognitive function, improved aging ability, and improved glucose control, and have a higher muscle retention versus fat loss? Have a guess how many people, he said, this is an event actually from Life Mastery as well. How many people do you think had improved function? Arnold Schwarzenegger ages ago said like sleep less, be more efficient. Have a think how many people there was. Staggering number. It was incredible how many people actually got improved cognitive function, improved fat loss, muscle retention, like all of the benefits. There's so many people. Zero got the result. Funny that. It's like we need sleep. It's what helps to detoxify the body in migraines. And sometimes we need more, and that's okay. So that is how you can do that. So slow metabolism, 8 proven ways to boost and lose weight. 1, sleep. 2, weight training. 3, cardiovascular training to improve cardio health. Also helps to metabolize, improve your metabolic function. 4, chilies, nom nom nom. Green tea, and this can be any type of herbal tea, so like herbal teas that help. 6, more sex. You win, partner wins, right? Increasing your NEAT, so going for steps, moving around. So naturally you might be moving less, and that's why your metabolism is less. Those that have a high metabolism probably naturally twitch or fidget, so you could do that as 2. And 8, give yourself a break. Recovery is king. Train hard, supplement right, also recover right. How to deadlift. Check out this video for more information. Literally, here's a female deadlifting, here's a guy deadlifting. Everyone can deadlift. It is a fundamental function. Literally, when you go to do the washing, go to sit down, stand up, creating a deadlift action. Hinge from the hip, soft at the knees. Can you explain how stress and lack of effective coping mechanisms can trigger binge eating? Food tastes delicious. So if you're binge eating, you're feeling bad and you're uncomfortable, just know this. When were you at your happiest? For me, family dinners, the roasts, which contains a lot of fat, salt, potatoes, chips. So good. And also, for me, it was ice cream and chocolate sauce on the top. I don't know if you remember the icing, like the icing magic, where you put on the ice cream would be rock hard. Oh, I love it. So I would have a crunch. Guess what? Crispy M&Ms, Maltesers, popcorn in the movies, also great time. So all you're looking for is you remember a good, happy time, and you're thinking, your brain goes, those foods, which are nutritious, highly calorie dense, those are the foods we should eat. So what do you go for? Those foods. And that's what's triggering you to go back to it. So if you know what that memory is, and you know when the triggers are happening, you can go, what's my habit or mechanism that I can help myself? 20 deep breaths. Okay, feeling better. Do I still want it? Yeah, okay, have it. See how you feel. You might actually end up eating less of it anyway, so you still get what you're looking for, still get the reward, but you're now in control. Or have a big protein-rich meal with carbs, and then have maybe a little bit as well. So you're getting all the nutrients. Not doing that one. Is dirty bulking recommended approach for seeking fat loss? No, it is not. It's called bulking. Dirty bulk, you're consuming more calories than you need to. A lot of people are like, oh, I did a dirty bulk and I lost weight. You probably increased your salt intake and now you've peed out water. So get your body fat tested. Get your body comp assessed, find out where your muscle mass, your fat mass is, and then literally just track and log from week to week to make sure you're moving back and forwards. Warm up the shoulder before exercising, 100% agree. Typical routine we like to do when it comes to any movement is we actually do 2 sets, 20 reps, so high volume, boom, 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 of the movement. Super lightweight, could be with a dowel, could be with body weight. Warm up the joint. Then we like to do what's known as a banded dislocate or a shoulder dislocate. You're not dislocating your shoulder. You're just moving through the motions to warm it up and get it going. So check out these videos, check out the links in our playlist, and have a great time. Till next time, adios, amigos.